Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is Chike Kamara, the host of the Short Film Ideas Challenge. I mean, well, Short Film Ideas channel, and I'm currently doing a 10-day short film idea challenge, whereby each day for 10 days I come up with a short film idea just to show you my process and give you a process by which you can come up with short film ideas yourself. This is especially helpful for newbie filmmakers, for college students, or filmmaking students, and for people who are trying to get into the art of filmmaking and are looking to do a short film and have no idea what they want to do. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna get right into it. Today is um, day 4 of the challenge, and let's get right into it. Each day I give you my source, and then I give you my thoughts on the source or what was going through my head on the source, and then I give you the idea. Okay, so we're going to do that today. All right, so today's source is. So I was thinking about the movie Clueless. I don't know what made me think about the movie. I don't know if I saw somebody that reminded me of that movie, or if I was flipping through some channels and caught a glimpse of the logo for Clueless. But I was thinking about that movie and I remembered how entertaining it was at the time. And then a thought popped into my head, like a seed of an idea popped into my mind. And it was like, I thought, what about a story about a teenage girl who has earned a reputation as her school's top matchmaker? And students actually pay her to arrange hookups. That would be interesting. Okay. And as soon as I thought that would be interesting, then I say, okay, so I have my interesting seed of an idea. If you've been following along the past few episodes, you know that first of all, you got to find something that's interesting to you, just a little seed of an idea that's interesting to you. Then you have a chance to parlay that interestingness to an audience, and that's good. Okay. But we're not going to stop at interestingness. Um, we need something compelling, okay, to keep moving forward. All right, so here are some of the thoughts that came through my mind. Okay, first of all, I thought, now what if this is a really professional operation? Yeah, so it's a professional operation that this young woman is running. She even makes home visits for dinner, for the cost of dinner, or over dinner. She'll consult with her clients off hours, and let's say her reputation grows so much that one of her classmates who has a possible crush on her, a male classmate, he brags to his mom about her and he talks about her all the time. And let's say that she is approached by that classmate's mother to help her find a man. And then my next question would be, okay, and when I'm having these thoughts, I'm thinking of what will make this a compelling story. I have an interesting idea, but what would make it compelling? Okay, so my next question was, what would the ramifications of this lady asking her to find her a man? I mean, this is sort of out of the teenage girl's lane. I mean, we're talking about adults here. What some scenario could I create that would make this story compelling? Does she help the woman? What happens when she does? So, if she accepts and decides to help the woman, then we have potential problems, and that's what makes the story compelling. Okay, soon as she agrees to help this woman and do something outside of her lane, which is do adult matchmaking, which she probably has no experience doing, that has the potential for problems. And they always say problems to solve make stories compelling, especially if you solve them in a smart and intelligent way. All right, so that I have to have her accept this woman's proposition. All right, and another thing that makes it compelling is the dichotomy, the opposition. I look for oppositions, for conflict and dramatic. I'm always thinking about that as I'm working through my ideas and my story. Even while I'm writing, I'm always looking for opposition, looking for conflict. Okay, so a natural thing here would be you have the dichotomy, the opposition between immaturity, the young girl, and I'm not saying immaturity in a bad way, but just immaturity because she's a teenager. She hasn't experienced adulthood yet. So the dichotomy between immaturity and maturity, okay, or ignorance because she just hasn't experienced life things in the world that an adult has, I would assume. So ignorance and experience. There's that dichotomy there. So we have some compelling elements. We have some opposing elements that makes the story compelling. All right. So those were all of my thoughts. Okay. And so here's the idea that I came up with, and this is sort of spelled out from the rough sort of ideas that the rough beginning, middle, and end that I came up with. And this is a little more detailed end result. I'll go over what I had, like the rudimentary beginning, middle, and end that I had in a few minutes. Okay, so the idea is a bookish teenager gains popularity as her high school's resident matchmaker. And when her popularity lands her a matchmaking gig with a classmate's very wealthy mother, she receives a proposition from the wealthy lady or magnate. Find her a man and she'll pay her full expenses to the college of her choice, if she can get into that college, which happens to be a fashion school in Paris, which she cannot afford to attend. Okay. Despite the teenage girl's effort, she fails and does not receive the prize, nor even a consolation prize for her efforts. However, in an interesting twist, the wealthy woman's son, her sympathetic classmate, offers up his trust fund to pay for her college, as he characterizes his mother as a manipulative person who would never have honored the proposition anyway. The matchmaker teenage girl does not accept his offer of his trust fund, but she does accept his invitation to the prom. So that is not bad. I like that. It's very detailed. But remember, when I come up with ideas, you always have to infer a beginning, and middle, and end, in my process anyway. Because if you can do that within your idea, then you have a full story there, just waiting to be done or written. So you always want to have some sort of reference to it, beginning, middle, and end. Okay. So you have a complete story. It doesn't necessarily have to be, it's not necessarily going to be great, but at least you have a story there. Okay. All right. So let's go to the beginning that I came up with. Okay. All right. So, well, first of all, as you know, I shouldn't say beginning, the ending. I'm sorry. So we have an interesting story, which I always say, it has to be interesting to you, first and foremost. Then we found ways to make it compelling. So we have a compelling story there. Boom. So now you always know your ending. Come up with an ending first. If you can come up with an ending, then you have a good chance to create this story. Okay. If you can't come up with any endings, like I said before, then just move on to something else. Okay. So come up with an ending. Okay. And ideally it must be something physical and something thematic as well. Okay. And I'm not doing a good job doing it with the thematic part. Of course, I could, go with the theme of, maturity and immaturity. But anyway, so the ending I came up with is the matchmaker does not accept her friend's, the son of the mother, who she doesn't accept his offer to go out with him, but she does accept his invitation to the prom as a baby step or whatever. Okay. So that has nothing to do with, that's not the actual ending that I came up with when I fleshed everything out, but this is the ending I came up with I came up with a few endings, and this is the one I chose. And as you can see from the idea, I sort of added a little twist and changed it around a little bit. But the ending I came up with, which is acceptable, is the matchmaker does not accept her friend's offer to go out with him, but she does accept his invitation to the prom. Okay, so that probably needed a little work anyway, but that's the ending that I came up with. Then I went back and I tried to come up with a beginning. I came up with a few beginnings, and the one I settled on was a nerdy teenage girl runs a professional matchmaking service at her school. Okay, and the middle I came up with is the girl is approached by a male friend's mom to serve as a matchmaker for her for a nice reward. Okay, very rudimentary. I mean, if you put this all together and say a nerdy teenage girl runs a professional matchmaking service at her school, the girl is approached by a male friend's mom to serve as matchmaker for a nice reward, and then the matchmaker does not accept her friend's offer to go out with him, but she does accept his invitation to the prom. That's very rudimentary, and it seems a little disjointed. So obviously I had to flesh out the story a little bit there. But that is the beginning I chose. This is the middle I chose, and the ending that I just gave you was the ending I chose. I had something to work with there, and then I just tried to I fleshed out the idea and came up with this very elaborate detailed idea. It could actually be a feature film, but it will be a lot like Clueless for sure. But it could be a short film as well. So this is the idea I came up with. That's how I came up with it, and that's that. That's it for day 4. All right, cranking through these. All right, if you have any questions or any confusion, comment below, and I'll respond to your comment, and I'll help you out. Or if you have any ideas that you're sort of fiddling around with and you have some questions, comment below, and I'll certainly try my best to help you out. Okay? All right, so I love you.